is what I know. It's not your fault, Kelly. Let me guess. He comes home from work, plops down on the couch, turns on the TV, and watches ESPN for the next 5 hours. Sports aren't that important, certainly not enough to take precedence over everything else in his life. Tate glared at the radio. What did Noelle know about sports? Probably nothing, and yet she felt qualified to give advice on the matter. He knew firsthand how important sports were. Growing up with parents who'd treated marriage like a game and hadn't given much thought to making their only child's life stable, sports had offered the steadiness he craved. Feeling a day's worth of frustration boiling over, he wrenched his cell phone from his right hip pocket and stabbed at the one. WTLK, how can I help you? Good, Matt had answered. The phone screener thought Tate was the coolest thing since the iPad. Hey man, it's Tate. I want to talk to Noelle. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Come on, Tate cajoled. I need to talk to her. I'll owe you one. Give her a fake name. Matt sighed. Okay. Tate turned down the radio to avoid the ear-splitting feedback that would occur when Noelle came on the line. Let's go to Mark from Dallas. He wanted to weigh in on the last call. So, Mark, what do you think? Noelle asked in his ear. Actually, it's Tate Grayson, he answered, working to keep his voice calm. She'd be more likely to see his point if he didn't loudly hammer home his arguments like he wanted to do. I heard you talking about how unimportant sports are, and you couldn't be more wrong. Sports teach leadership, teamwork, hard work, and dedication. You're not doing your caller any favors by dismissing sports and telling her what she wants to hear. I never tell my listeners what they want to hear. I tell them what they need to hear, Mr. Grayson, Noelle replied. Her controlled tone only pissed him off even more. She didn't need to hear what you said since you were wrong, he said through clenched teeth. I'm sorry you feel that way. This might come as a surprise to you, but everyone doesn't live and breathe sports. Some of us find them mind-numbingly dull and a complete waste of time, which they are in this case. Thank you for calling. Click. He stared at his phone, his mouth hanging open in equal doses of shock and anger. Had she really hung up on him? A car horn blared. Tate jerked his head up. The truck that had been a foot in front of him for the past 50 minutes was now at least 20 feet ahead. He tossed the phone onto the passenger seat and pressed his foot on the gas. He had to get to work. Setting Dr. Noelle straight would have to wait till later. For those of you interested in sports, the Tate Grayson Show is coming up at the top of the hour. This is what I know. I've enjoyed the last 3 hours. Thanks for spending them with me. I'm Noelle Butler. Talk to you tomorrow. When she heard her show's peppy jingle in her ear, Noelle stood and yanked her headphones off, wincing when they snagged a strand of her hair. One more thing she could blame on Tate Grayson. She smoothed her hair back into place and glared at Matt through the window separating the studio from the phone screening room. The turncoat simply shrugged. A muffled snicker reached her from across the studio. She turned to the left where her producer and best friend Caitlin sat. What's so funny? The look on your face when Tate identified himself. I didn't realize eyes could roll that fast. Yeah, well, I can't believe he called in. She held up a hand. Actually, you know what? Yes, I can. That loudmouth is always doing something impulsive. At least I kept my cool. Caitlin shot her a look. You hung up on him. Ignoring the pang of guilt that tried to wiggle its way into her heart, Noelle busied herself by tidying her stack of show notes. I did not. I ended the call at the appropriate time, that's all. He can talk about how sports cure all of society's ails during his own show. Tisk, tisk, sarcasm kills, you know, Caitlin said. Noelle pressed a hand to her chest and opened her eyes wide. Who, me? I'm innocent of all charges. She met Caitlin's eyes and burst into laughter, tension melting out of her shoulders. She welcomed the release. Ending her show on a contentious note wasn't how she wanted to finish the day. Regardless, she stood by what she'd said. Sports weren't the be-all, end-all like Tate believed. They were fine.